Okay, hello and welcome back to Builder Tanks with Renal Failure. Um, Today I'm going to talk about the E50. This was my very first tank, tier 9 tank anyway, that I got. I thought these tanks were incredible when I first found out about the tier 8 and 9 in the tech tree. Yeah, I just thought it was awesome that they had these tanks in the game, the next ones that were going to be out there. Anyway, this tank is an absolutely incredible all-rounder. You can use it as a heavy tank if you need. You can use it as a sniper. You know, the rounds on this tank actually have really decent shell velocity. Just the standard shells are 1200 meters a second. Now the premium are 1500, which is like instant. You know, I have 200 ping when I play, and it still feels instant to me. Now the high explosive actually still have 1200 meters a second, and I've got 60 millimeters of pen, which is alright. That's average for a high explosive. The gold shells are the standard shells for the tier 10, so they're only 270 millimeters of penetration with those, which just barely edges out a lot of other tanks in tier 9 with their standard penetration. But as long as you stick to the weak points, you'll be fine using even the standard rounds, which are 230 millimeters. Now, this tank has 390 alpha damage, which is average, but you can use it, and it's also a bit of a sweet spot in tier 9 when it comes to DPM. So, well, I think it does anyway. So my gun loading is 7.56, which is about as good as you can get it without going to improved consumables. So, through ventilation and food, obviously I have butters and arms here on all of them. And for gun handling, I am using the dispersion things, which do help quite a bit. Now, all of that has gotten the aiming time down to 1.8 seconds, which is incredible, and the dispersion all the way down to 0.26. So no matter what you aim at, you're going to hit it. Even at long distances, you're going to have a pretty easy time hitting the sides of vehicles. Now, it has -8 degrees of gun depression, which doesn't, it's good, but as with a lot of German tanks, it does seem like a lot more than that for some reason. I have the same thing with the mouse tank. Its gun depression seems like a hell of a lot more than 8. Moving down to its survivability, it has a heavy tank's pool of health in a medium tank for tier 9, which is really nice, so you have the health to use if you need to. But what's interesting is you also have the armor to use, so you don't lose the health. So it doesn't look great at first, just looking at it. I mean, these are flat angles, so 215 flat on the front of this turret. Using your gun depression, you get about 240, so that's enough to deal with most tier 8s and some tier 9 rounds. The side of the turret is what it is, 80 millimeters, but that's enough to deal with most at most angles, as long as you're facing them, obviously. The hull is 150 millimeters. Now, at this angle, it's actually really effective. I believe it's over 250 millimeters effective, which is enough to deal with almost anything, and you're usually angling anyway, and heat, I believe, will make it go up to a lot higher than that effective. Lower plate is weak, so don't rely on it. It is a Tiger 2 hull, bar the front, obviously, so you can brawl in this quite easily, making it extremely versatile. Obviously the gun handling and gun dispersion make it an excellent sniper. Good DPM, all of that. It has excellent view range, that is obviously buffed up a lot by the food. But, it's just because I'm running food and that's my setup. Now, I run an improved ventilation, that improves everything. Obviously a vertical stabilizer, I want to make that good, this incredible gun just even better, and a gun rammer, because that's something I think everyone should have in a tank. You saw my ammunition setup before. That's pretty standard. So yeah, you know, just if you're a real stickler for not using gold, then don't. But I honestly don't think anyone should care. It doesn't cost gold to use gold anymore. And I usually find the 230mm of penetration on the standard rounds to be more than enough to deal with my enemies. And you also earn a decent amount of money with this tank, surprisingly. So anyway, we'll move on to the battle and see how that goes. Okay, so for this battle we're on Mountain Pass. Now I did record another video for this review, but which I just spent this entire time, I think about an hour, trying to get a recording right, but then I decided that this would be a better one, so all that time, which is nothing for you guys, is now wasted. But anyway, we are on Mountain Pass again. We're in a bottom tier matchup here, and there are a lot of tank destroyers on each team, so that may cost us quite a bit of health. Now, they have an IS-7 and 277 S-Conk. The E3 is going to be difficult. And there's 3 T-95s in a platoon, so I can actually expect them all to be together. On this map, I do like to come down this path here, and I will sit up about here, I think, or maybe it's down there. But anyway, you'll see where I stop soon. There's a wee bush here, and you can actually, even with minimal gun depression, you can actually stay hidden and also put shots into any tanks that make the push across here. Yeah, give me a moment. Across here. Now, yeah, just you will often find enemy tanks will just push out a little bit too far when they poke. But it looks like a WZ is making an aggressive push, so I'm gonna decide pretty soon to follow him down. Because if he makes an aggressive push there, the enemy team aren't gonna push themselves around because they know that we have a presence in the north here. Now what I'm actually doing here is checking out where the actual hitbox of this rock in front of me is, because on a lot of maps you'll find wee little bits like that which will catch you out, and you'll just, you know, you'll just fluff a shot into the ground instead of at the enemy. Now an M103 has appeared, so they do have a bit of a presence here at least, and I noticed that the WZ, the light tank, is on the right there. Now he's going to be a bit of a priority for us because, well, we're going to get focused on the enemy in front of us. He's going to start farming us from the side and also keeping eyes on us. Now, I don't know when he's going to come back. I don't exactly want to push this M103 because I don't know what else is with him. That T-95 platoon hasn't been spotted yet. Actually, no. There's one now. There's two now. So I'm honestly expecting the other one to be there. Now, I start trying to put shots into his commander there, or commander set, whatever you want to call it. And it's not going in, so I'm going to try again. Now, I should really be aiming at the bottom plate there, but I'm not. So I start loading a bit of gold. Yeah, look, the whole platoon's here. Now, usually this is a good idea, but hopefully we can actually deter this threat for our team. So we start putting shots into the T-95. I believe our WZ took care of that light tank with the team board. Yeah, he did, so that's a good job on his part. So we have removed one T-95 and we'll have to move on to the next. Now I try to put a bit of distance between me and them, so that when I poke around to shoot, I don't get spotted, and I can just feel safer. Then I'm not going to get, you know, 750 health removed from my tank. Yep, the M102 exposes the side a bit too much, so I just put a shot into him. Now we're using our front plate here. I don't think they can actually see my lower plate too well because of this wee depression in the ground here. So I'm just going to keep farming away. We finish off this T-95. The immense accuracy of this gun is really helping us out here. Actually, you're going to see it again. Just, I can hit that without any issue at all. Just full confidence. Now, I actually hit his ammo rack there. It is good to have at least a bit of a knowledge as to where the ammo rack is on a tank, so you can cripple their reload speed and also even have the chance of obviously doing the old classic ammo rack. Now I bounced off his commander's hatch, he was on quite a bit of an angle there, so that's understandable. I tried putting a shot into his lower plate, but he would angle downwards. Now, with our relatively nice reload, I track this ease again, but he repairs just as I do so. And what I decided to do here is a bit of a cheap shot, so I let the WZ go first, because I'm fairly confident there's going to be a tank destroyer or some tank up here that's going to farm us as we try and cross. And there we go, that's E30, so I tried to put a shot into him, but it was a pixel and we bounced off. Now, judging by the health that the WC just lost, he does have the big gun, so he's got a massive reload, which is going to allow us to push forward relatively safely anyway. Now we get up the slope. Now even without a lot of gun depression, you can actually use the spot right here, and it does actually assist you. Now I go for the side of his turret there. On the T30, it does actually have the weakest version of this turret compared to like the T34 and the T29. So that's a good piece of information to keep in mind when you're facing them. Now, I'm just going to start picking apart this T30. There's not a lot he can do against me. If he does try and aim at me, I'll just hide my lower plate, like I'm doing right now. He just can't do anything. He has to focus on my own team, or my other team members. I put a final shot into him, and I believe one of my teammates finishes him off. But I remain safe until, obviously, he's dead, and I start pushing forward. Now, I noticed earlier that the S-Conk has started falling back, so we could probably expect him here soon. The E3, no, because in order to get here, he would have to get spotted by the T95. And there he is. Now, we're not even aimed there, and we still can reliably hit the side of the S-Conk, with him just slightly overexposed to us. Now, he is falling back since he's noticed we have like every single heavy tank destroyer on our team bearing down on him. So I'm gonna push in with them. This guy does seem pretty focused on us, probably because he has the best chance of penning us, but that's alright. I do have plenty of health in this tank to deal with that. Now, they're all pushing this S-Conk, so I'm just going to push in with them. They do finish him off. Now, all that's left is this E3 and an unspotted Conqueror. Now, I have no idea where this Conqueror could be. We never spotted him, so we'll just have to go with what we have, which is this E3. Now, where he is, there is a bit of a divot in the ground, so we aren't going to be able to pen him. The wee gunner commander's hatch thing on top of the E3 is not a weak spot. It is a weak spot on the E4, but just, not the E3. Now, I have a chance to shoot through the top of his tank there, and I think I take a shot, but it doesn't work out. Or maybe not. I go for the tracking anyway. Get some assist, and the Conqueror has appeared after spending the entire game being invisible. Now, I noticed I'm having a decent game, so I do a bit of a cock move here, and I move my tank sideways to stop other people from getting shots into them, just so I can get an extra shot or two in. Yeah, I mean, if I was one of them, I'd be pretty annoyed as well, to be honest. But the game was over, and most likely they wouldn't have done the shot anyway. But yeah, there's a replay. My camera's not working for some reason. Yeah, there we go. Okay, but yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you learned something from this replay. I don't feel like it was the best replay to learn from, but I tried to fit as much as I could in there. But yeah, I'll see you next time, and let me know what you thought in the comments.